Hi, welcome back to another Fast Fun Friday. Today I'm going to talk about free substrates. I don't know about you guys. Well, I would guess you're the same as I am. You see a new cool technique, somebody uses a different substrate, you got to go out and buy that. Pretty soon you have an art room that is overflowing with things that you look at and say, why did I buy that again? What was I going to do with that? So to try and save you and me a little bit of money, there are just any number of things that we all have that we might not look at as an affordable or free substrate, things right around the house. So that's what I'm just going to talk about today for just a few minutes. Not going to take a long time. So the first thing would be playing cards. A lot of times you get them free at events or as a promo, something like that. If your kid's outgrown old card games, this is from an old maid set from the 80s probably, but they're nice, heavy. If you're into doing ATCs and the smaller size pieces of art, free. Easy, cover them with paint, paper, tape, whatever you would normally do on a ATC substrate. Grab an old playing card. Things that we just always throw away. Time to change the calendar. These are very often, this one came from a calendar pad that had a magnet on the back that I put on my fridge. But they're fairly heavy, not quite cardstock heavy, but a nice size, and, white surface, and you can do art on this. You can put this in your journal. You can use it to cut things out of in your cutting machines, your die cuts, whatever, and you already paid for it. You're generally going to just throw it away, so use that. Old file folders. Look at all the surface. Nice and heavy, good color. There's any number of things you can do with and on an old file folder. So don't throw them out. Scrapbook paper that you've probably had for years and years and you don't like the pattern anymore, and what am I going to do with that? I'll probably never use it. It's stuck in a drawer somewhere. I had this pad. I will never use that pattern on anything. But I was doing a class on teaching the color wheel. It was the perfect size. It accepted paint really well. So one-sided scrapbooking paper, or even over the top of this, you can paint right over that. That has some glitter and some texture, so why not, right? How about cereal boxes, dog biscuit boxes? I just opened it down the side. When they're closed up, I'm sure you all know this, but when they're closed up, there's going to be one side that you will see has this short fold. That's where they're glued together. Just pull that apart. I cut the tabs that are left off the top and the bottom. This could be folded, painted, covered with papers, collaged on, made into a journal. I mean, you basically have your cover right there. You could stitch in your signatures here if you wanted to. You could open it up and just use that whole thing as a substrate, cut it apart, use the pieces. Again, rather than go in the landfill, put it in your stash. We all have a tendency, a lot of us use old books. We use the book pages, we cut out words, we use the pages, we tear them up, we use them in collage or on our mixed media backgrounds. Book covers make excellent substrates. They're really sturdy. This is the front of a book, and the colored linen covering, generally if you make a cut all the way around, you can peel that right off and you end up with out anything on there, just the inner cardboard is showing, and then the flyleaf on the other side. So either way, this, I started to put some paper on here. I was going to do a project on this book cover and then That's as far as I got. But anyway, book covers. I did a series of collages on book covers that turned out really well. Just the books themselves. I found this old, probably from the 80s, woodworking book in my attic that belonged to my dad. But I needed to do a project for a collaboration, and I just used the cover of the book. And at some point I will alter this book and take some pages out and use it as a journal. But I just covered the cover with my art. Again, it was free. Go to Goodwill, go to your thrift stores. You'll find books for $1. Nice hardcover, decent sized books that you can just art on. Packaging cardboard. Corrugated cardboard makes a great substrate even if you put it on something heavier, or if you cut a piece of regular, you know, a box. This is just a side of a box, and I did a collage on that. Again, free, fun, cheap. What about, that's another one that I did on cardboard. Just a piece of a box. Covered it with fabric and then texture paste, and then did art on top of it. Paper and paint and whatever you want. Free. Kids' old game boards. This one is really cool because it's opens into, I don't know how much of this is going to get on camera, but it opens into 4 squares. So at some point I would probably cut each of those squares apart, and I have 4 really nice heavy duty substrates to art on. Again, thrift store or even off your own walls from years ago. Just, we've all bought art that's already on stretched canvas. I bought 2 of these. Actually, they were free. It was at a thrift store, and they had a table that was, you know, just, they were tired of trying to sell it, I guess, or it was damaged goods or whatever. But they were free, take them, and there were 2 of these. They had cows on them. I don't know, you can faintly see the outline of the cow, but I just gessoed over the top of it, and this is the second one that I just did a collage and painted right on there. I used some corrugated cardboard on there, but that was the same, that was the pair. So, old canvas art that you don't like anymore or that somebody's given away. How about chipboard? This is the back of that magnetic calendar. I can leave the magnet on there and use it, put it on my fridge, or this was in a package of bed sheets that I ordered online, and this was in the package. Nice rounded corners, nice size, heavy duty. And this is a piece that I did on watercolor paper, but then I mounted it on the chipboard so that it would be sturdier. And just FYI, this is a Formica chip. You know those little samples that they give you at the hardware store to bring home to see if you like the color? That's what that is. So another little free substrate that you can use in your art. Wooden pieces. Scrap, large scraps, small scraps like this. I recently put a bunch of scraps together, just glued them with wood glue, all different sizes, and did an assemblage type collage on top of the wooden pieces with just a little bit of paint and some paper and a few little doodads, and I really like it, and it was almost free to make. And there are so many things. Once you start looking at your stuff differently, like how could I use that? And I know a lot of you probably already do this and have been doing it for a long time, but there's always new people coming in to mixed media that maybe haven't heard it, so I thought I would do a Fest Fun Friday about it. But paper bags, brown paper bags, the brown paper that comes wadded up in boxes of goods that you get delivered to your house, and just take it out, smooth it out, and stash it for another project. So the thing that I like to do with paper bags is, I have some pages in a book that I made from just regular brown paper bags from the grocery store or from fast food places. Cut them in pieces, scrunch them all up. Like, take the bags apart, cut the front off, the back off, the sides off, and then cut the bottom off. Usually I throw that away. But scrunch it all up, stick it in a big bowl of water or a bucket of water, leave it for 10-15 minutes. Come back, smooth it out, dry it off with a paper towel, and then just hang it or leave it lay flat to dry, and you have this wonderful, crinkly yet smooth. And you could iron it if you wanted to iron it. I think these pages I did iron before I put them in here. But you can see, you know, different bags end up different colors. Some are more brown. This one has a little more of a taupey gray to it. Some smooth out better than other ones. This one's really wrinkly and I really like it, but that's going to give a lot of great texture. And the other surface that I like to use, or material I like to use for a substrate, is canvas drop cloths. I just washed this one, cut it up. I bound it into this journal. This page was done. You can see I painted this piece on watercolor paper, and then I just sewed it onto the canvas page and then painted the canvas around it. But, you know, if you have an old painting drop cloth that you want to, rather than throw it away, you're going to repaint it anyways, even if it's covered in paint. Just wash it, cut it up, and use that as your substrate. Here's the cover of this journal, is just the cover of an old history book, front and back. So that's my Fast Fun Friday. I hope that I sparked your imagination. I hope you'll start looking at your junk and your cast-offs a little bit differently, because who needs to buy stuff when you already have free stuff right there in front of you? So if you like this, give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody else who might like it. Leave me a comment, let me know how you use your free substrates. And in the meantime, go make some art. Bye.